and welcome to day 66. As my gorgeous wife waving from inside the car. So, had 3 glorious nights here in Bennington, Vermont, and she has dropped myself and all day off at the trailhead, and she is heading back to the airport to fly home to Virginia. And I am back on trail without my wife. That was a good time, but we got to get back on trail, got to get moving. This is the hard part. Saying goodbye for probably another 2.5 months. But we got to get moving. Trail is not going to hike itself. Day 66, Bennington, Vermont, getting back on trail. Continuing on, so got dropped off by my wife and I'm back on trail. It was a very steep, nearly 1,000-foot climb up out of the parking lot, which kind of surprised me. But here we are. It's a beautiful day. Try to get some miles in. I also got brand new shoes. I was having a lot of foot pain with my other shoes, my La Sportivas, because my toes were jamming into the front of them, particularly on my left foot. I had 370 miles in those shoes, so I feel like I got some use out of them. Amazingly, the REI in Albany, which had been closed, reopened yesterday, grand reopening. And so we drove over there. It was only like less than an hour, and we're there in the morning when they opened, and they were having all kinds of giveaways and fun stuff like that for the grand opening. But I was able to pick up a new pair of trail runners. So now I've got some Brooks Cascadias, and they're a little bit wider in the toe box. They feel good so far, and my toes don't feel as smushed. So we'll see how they feel over the long term. Obviously, things can change a lot over the miles. Wow, look at that. There's that monument way down there. That war monument. A slightly different angle on it now.
Yeah, that was the mountain we saw from the restaurant.
Yeah, you're actually right. Wow, this is really beautiful. That must be Bennington down there, huh? Bennington, Vermont, down in the valley, folks. That little spiky thing is the war memorial. This mud just seems to go on forever. And it's not so bad right here, but it's been pretty bad today. Northbounders have told me that literally the mud starts at the state line with Massachusetts. And I actually read a Reddit post where a former thru hiker said that the mud in Vermont literally drove them insane. So I've only got 10 miles left of Vermont, and I hope I don't go insane, but this is very tedious. The new shoes seem to be working out okay. I don't care about getting mud on the outside of these shoes. I don't want mud inside because it's really gross when you got to wring your socks out and they're muddy. And my socks right now are pretty clean. So I just passed a northbound thru hiker who just got into Vermont like yesterday, and he asked, how much longer does the mud last? And I was like, about 550 miles. Oops. A little bit tight. This is really beautiful. There's a stream running out right there. And this thing here, according to the guide, is a beaver bog. A good old beaver created this whole thing. If you look right here in front of me, that's the beaver dam, or a beaver dam. You see the sticks all piled up here. And, you know, it's been around a while. These are not fresh sticks. But old beaver did his dam here, and now we got a bog. Well, good morning and welcome to day 67. So we had a good night last night. The weather was good. Did about 11.5 miles yesterday after my wife dropped us off back there in Bennington. So today we're gonna try to do about 13.5, get up to Mount Greylock. I've called and left a message for them. They have a hiker's bunkhouse you can stay at. So I'm a lot of breath. It's like a pretty steep climb. And so I'm going to try to get reservations for the hiker's bunkhouse for tonight. We're going to be in Massachusetts in about 2 miles. So we're going to cross the state line. That'll be very exciting. And in about 9 miles or so, we're going to hit 600 miles. And so I'll try to remember to stop and video that. So for now, I'm going to climb this thing, and day 67 continues on the Appalachian Trail. Please remember our Gold Star families. And for now, Recon out. All right, I just made reservations for the hiker bunk room on Bascom Lodge on Mount Greylock. Greylock is the highest point in Massachusetts, and apparently was a favorite of Thoreau and Melville, I believe. So anyway, they have like a hiker bunk room. They serve coffee in the morning. It's about 13 miles from here, so they'll be nice. At least we'll know we'll be dry tonight. And honestly, for $45, if I can be inside and be dry and actually have a shower, that's kind of worth it to me. So off I go. So this may be the coolest experience that I've had out here. So there was a guy from New York who wrote a book called The Unlikely Thru Hiker. He's an African-American fellow who had no experience in the outdoors. And several years ago, maybe 2016, I'm not sure what year, he actually hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. He wrote a book about it, which was fabulous. I reached out to him and purchased the hard copy, which he signed and autographed to my daughter, Cameron. And then I sent him back a photo of her holding the book, and she loved the book. So I'd see this guy come down the trail, and I said, "You look just like Mr. Fabulous." And he says, "I am." So he's doing the long trail, which is running along with the Appalachian Trail at this point. And so I got a selfie with him, and we chatted for a bit. And he was going to rep my channel and help me with my fundraiser a little bit. So super cool. Thank you, Mr. Fabulous. And there it is, folks. There it is. Welcome to Massachusetts. So 3 states down and 11 states to go. But Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are behind me. Anyway, here I am in Massachusetts. They've got, Jesus, just as many bugs in Massachusetts as they had in Vermont. I didn't know that was even possible, but they followed me over the state line, which is probably not legal. Anyway, we're in a new state, and if you are following the channel and if you are following the fundraiser, maybe consider a small donation to commemorate 3 states down. That would be awesome. And also today, days, these things are awful. We're going to hit 600 miles. So I will make a special video at that point. I am descending, and I came out of the trees, and I got this view here. It's pretty nice. I think I descend pretty steeply, and then I start climbing Greylock. And it's a pretty long climb. It's about 2,500 feet, I think. But that's where we're staying tonight. Yeah. Trail runs right down the sidewalk here. So we came down out of the mountains and into this town. I don't know what river that is, but this pedestrian bridge over the river is part of the Appalachian Trail. And I'm not sure, this might be West Cheshire, not sure. But I think up ahead there, those gigantic mountains, I think one of those is Greylock, and that's where we're spending the night tonight, so we gotta climb up there. But anyway, this is kind of fun, it's a little weird change, be walking through town. This is one of those crazy, random, and wonderful things about hiking the Appalachian Trail. So the trail goes right down this road, and here on the side of the road is this message center. And over here are coolers that the townspeople or somebody has set out with some first aid gear, some random snacks, and cold water and cold sodas in that one. So I'll take a break here, let my feet dry a little bit. It was all day, relaxing in the shade. There he is. All right, so we still have to climb Mount Greylock. We have not escaped that fate yet, so I'm gonna put the phone down and start climbing. It looks like we're still walking the road for a little bit. I think we walk right straight up into the mountains there. I don't think it's Greylock in front of us. Greylock's still 6 miles away. It's probably behind that one. Nonetheless, that's what we got to do. This is kind of interesting, and you just pop out of the mountains and end up in the middle of a town. Pretty crazy. All right, there you go, people. It's not easy to make a 6 out of sticks. That's the best I can do. So today I went into Massachusetts and I hit 600 miles, 600.0 at this very spot. Well, here we go. Still climbing. I'm working my way to the top of Greylock. And this town down there, I'm assuming that is the town we walked through. I'm assuming that, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that's Williamstown or North Adams or Cheshire. Anyway, it's one of them. It's pretty cute. It's pretty hot and humid out here right now. Continuing to climb. Well, I'm still climbing. I left that town way down there. First I climbed to Mount Prospect and then went back down again. Went back up, and I think it was Mount Williams. And let's go back down a little bit again and then go back up to Greylock. So I've got about 2.5 miles to Greylock and about 500 feet of vertical. The trail's been super steep, and this is a perfect example of what we call PUDs, P-U-D, pointless ups and downs. There's no reason to go to the very top of that mountain just to drop down, to go back up to the top of the next one. Anybody with a topographic map could figure out that you could contour around and gradually gain elevation all the way to the top. But for some reason, this is the way they built the trail through here. It's a bunch of PUDs, pointless ups and downs. It's late in the day, it's 5 p.m. I'm hot, running out of water, not in the mood for PUDs. Well, I am very close to the top of Greylock. You can see it's got up out of the trees here. That's what I'm looking at. It's pretty nice, but I'm not quite to the top yet. And I am exhausted. So let me get on up this last little bit here. All right, here I am. This is the summit of Mount Greylock. And this is a war memorial on the top. Pretty cool. It was a bear getting up here, my gosh. That was really steep. I haven't climbed like that since the White Mountains in New Hampshire. So we'll walk around here, see what kind of view we got. And then I'm gonna head down to the lodge because I got a bed reserved in the bunk room at the lodge, which I think is right over there. So very cool. That's pretty nice. All right, I'm gonna stop recording for the moment and head on down to the lodge. So this is the Bascom Lodge on Mount Greylock. It's actually a pretty nice place. And I don't know how much the lodge rooms cost, but anyway, I'm in the bunk room. I've got a bunk in there for $45, so I'm fine with that. It's kind of funny though, I'm cooking out here on the picnic table. Of course I can't have my stove inside the place. And I'm just basically being treated like a peasant. It's just kind of funny. So, you know, I'm being treated like some kind of homeless bum, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make my dinner out here. I'm not gonna eat in the restaurant or the place because I'm carrying all this heavy food and I want to eat it. I don't want to carry it. And then I'm gonna go and take a shower and probably go to bed. All right, 604 miles, day 68. Starts leaving the Bascom Lodge. Slept in the bunk room last night with 3 other folks, myself and Pete, otherwise known as All Day, and then 2 section hikers. Had a good day. Ate my own food this morning outside, mainly because I didn't want to carry it, so I ate it. Heading south here, about 12.3 miles to a tent site, and then tomorrow we're going to go into the town of Dalton, Massachusetts. Anyway, that's the Massachusetts War Memorial behind me right there, and I'm stepping out. So remember our Gold Star families, and for now, Recon out. Interesting. So the summit of Greylock is now 6 miles behind me. I've descended down off the mountain, which is back that direction. And now I'm in this kind of open field, and got that ahead of me. Interesting. I always think these changes in scenery are quite interesting. Definitely different terrain here. So I'm heading this way. I've got about a mile or so to go down to the town of Cheshire, Massachusetts. And I understand the trail goes right through town. Oh, and I hear thunder. Not cool. And just like that, I'm in town, walking down a sidewalk. It's the weirdest thing to come out of the mountains and just end up in a town. A little scary. I'm surrounded by thunderstorms. I can hear thunder in all directions. Hoping to find someplace I can get out of this until these things pass. Well, here I am at the Father Tom campsite in Cheshire, Massachusetts. And it's this place that the city seems to have set up. It's an open, grassy area. It's got some porta potties. It's got a water faucet over there. It's got a sign saying for long distance AT hikers only, 2-night maximum. I didn't know anything about it. So anyway, picnic table, I rolled in here and am making my lunch. There's a bicycle thing over there with loaner bikes. I'll probably dive in there if the storm hits. I have no idea. Anyway, that's lunch right there. That is sharp cheddar cheese, pepperonis, and mayonnaise inside a tortilla. That is gourmet fare right there. So I'm going to eat, and then there's a little shop up the street here. I'll probably get a milkshake and then keep on going to the next campsite. All right, I had lunch at the little Father Tom's campsite there. It's pretty nice. And now I'm going across the street to Diane's Twist, which is an ice cream shop. And eventually I will get out of this town and head back up into the hills. But right now, ice cream is calling. Black clouds everywhere, but it hasn't stormed yet, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. Sometimes walking through town is not such a bad thing after all. I was racing the Thunder to get to the tent site, and I probably made it here 2 minutes before this happened. So I threw my tent up. Not the best pitch ever, but I'm in now, and you can see what's happening.
Good morning and welcome to day 69. I am here at the Crystal Mountain campsite. I came in last evening. I showed some video. I was racing a storm. I mean, there was a bunch of storms all around, thunder everywhere. And I was racing up this hill, and I got to the site. I got my tent up in probably about 2 minutes flat. Starting to rain as I got the tent up. And I dove in and zipped it shut, and then it just poured. And it poured so hard that water was running down the ground underneath the tent. And eventually that cleared out and stopped raining after a little while. So had a really good night, slept well, didn't rain anymore last night. The tent's still up. I'm just kind of trying to get it to dry out a little bit. The sun's come up, and it's supposed to be a clear day. So I'm here having my coffee, my Starbucks Via. I'm having a Pop-Tart, some instant oatmeal. Today I got about 5 miles to go to Dalton, Massachusetts. Dalton is a town. There's a fellow there named Lavardi who lets people camp in his yard and will offer rides and stuff. So there's a Walmart there. I need to resupply. All day, did not make it up this far. He's meeting a business acquaintance at Cheshire, the last town, and then he'll probably get a ride up ahead to meet me. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna have breakfast and get on the trail.
Day 69 continues. Nothing exciting to report. Just walking through the forest. At some point, this thing will start fairly steadily downhill and get down to the town of Dalton, Massachusetts, where there is a Walmart, and I'll need to make a decision about my next resupply and how much food I'm gonna need to buy. All right, I have come down out of the mountains and taken a left on this road, and I am walking into the town of Dalton, Massachusetts. So this is stuff that never happened in New Hampshire or Maine, but now we're just passing through towns, which is kind of cool actually, in its own way. I'm not sure what the plan is. I'm gonna go up here, try to figure out what I'm gonna do about resupply and how much further I wanna go today. But I mainly need to figure out what the next town is, because the distance to the next town will tell me how much food I need to buy. I try to keep it down to like 40 miles so I only have to buy 3 or 4 days, because otherwise it gets heavy and this pack doesn't carry well with a lot of weight in it. This is the Appalachian Trail, Dalton, Massachusetts. Right down the sidewalk. Got to worry about getting hit by a truck trying to cross the road here. And I don't know which way I go now. Okay, so I'm at Lavardi's, who's a trail angel here in Dalton, and a super cute cat, which I was petting and scratching, because, you know, she seemed very sweet. And then I come up on the porch, and what do I see? Yeah, so. So she could be ugly too, apparently. Day 69 continues. So Mr. Lavardi, who has been letting thru hikers camp in his yard for 40 years, let me borrow his bicycle because he doesn't have a restroom, so I rode myself up to the gas station, which apparently allows hikers to use their restroom. And then we got a ride from one of Alday's friends up to the Walmart. So we are thoroughly resupplied, and it's about 2.7 miles to the next shelter. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it should work out fine. We'll go about 2.7 miles, get there by 6, and start the next leg, which is 48 miles from Dalton, Massachusetts to Great Bennington. Take about 4 days. So here I am back at Mr. Lavardi's place. I'm gonna put the bicycle back, put my backpack on, and start climbing up this mountain. So for now, Recon out. All right, I have thanked Mr. Lavardi for his hospitality, and I am heading back up. It's only 2.7 miles to the shelter. I just felt like, you know, this will be 7.7 mile day, which is not long, but includes resupply and lunch. So it's better than a 5 mile day anyway. I'm not really sure what the point is. I could have camped in his yard, started tomorrow, but here I go. Backpack weighs a ton. Got enough food to go 48 miles, which is roughly 4 days of food, something like that. So it is pretty heavy. Plus I got water because it's pretty hot out. So anyway, I'll check in later. Just heading up from town. Just left town and I'm heading up to that shelter. I thought it was a really pretty forest. You know? Looks nice. And it's nice to be back in the trees because it's a lot cooler here.